Are energy companies serious about sustainability? And what are they doing about emissions? We have three types of emissions, 1, 2, 3. So some of them are indirect. How can you tackle those?
Well, for example, as Eni, we already committed to be carbon neutral on scope 1 and 2 by 2030, doing, energy efficiency, investing in renewables, make a lot of circular economy, being very serious on that. And now we are also discussing about scope 3. So, of course, we are talking about a big transition. It's not an easy transition. You have to reshape completely your company, but we are committed to do it with real project, disclosing this to our investor, having our investor with us. So it's a difficult thing, but we want to do it, and we want to do it very seriously.
So how far away is the understanding of what the third type of emission, the scope that you were talking about, how that will be delivered?
It's difficult also because we don't have clarity about how to disclose it. As you know, the TSVD is doing a lot on, for example, on the risk management, on the governance, but on the metrics on scope 3, we still have to understand how to do it. So we're a little bit far, but the commitment is there, and we want to be front runner on this point. I
mean, it's quite difficult, first of all, to know exactly what we're talking about because people define things differently, right? So we talk a lot about harmonization. What's more important for going towards sustainability? Is it new technology, something that would make your life easier, or is it actually just harmonizing the rules and the definitions?
I think we need a lot of things. For sure, we need harmonization, metrics. We need also clear signals from the government. Unfortunately, as you know, COP25 was a disaster, nothing happened. For example, we think that if we have a carbon price all over the world, or even a carbon tax all over the world, this could help us in this transition. So metrics, a lot of investment in new technologies, and also clear signal from the governments that are not coming.
Are gas markets oversupplied globally, and what does that mean for Europe specifically?
Well, of course, we need to go on this direction, and we still need to do a lot.
If you look at the price of oil, if you look at the world economy, how difficult is it to see where oil goes, and what that means operationally for Eni?
What you mean in the world?
In the world, if you look at, and it's such a big company, so you have this transition towards energy, you have the oil price, which really is being dictated by shale in the US. So how does it change where you're invested in?
Of course, it's difficult. As I said, we need to have a big cooperation between all the different parts. And for example, what is good for the Western countries probably is not. We need something different, for example, from Africa. In Africa, you still have 1 billion people without access to energy. You still have 2.7 billion of people using biomass to cook, and then you have a lot of people dying for that. So there you need different policies on that. So we think that the price will stay more or less stable, but we really need to have a global agreement on how to go on. And now we don't see it for what we see now.
When you look at trading houses, right, for a lot of the products, they've come under massive scrutiny around the world. Will Eni keep the trading part of your business?
You know, we are still thinking about what I can tell you. Well, in our next strategy, we will announce important new commitment, but we are analyzing everything. And when you have to do this, you have to look at all the sectors of your company. So we will we will change everything, but we will announce it in February.
When you look at some of the refining assets of Eni, they were really consolidated. Are you keeping them as it is? Is what you have now as they will be in 3-4 years, or can you see further moving around?
You know, I cannot say too much, but what I can tell you is that, as you know, we have been the first oil and gas company moving from normal traditional refinery to green refinery. So we will go on with this because this is working very well. For example, we are investing a lot in waste to fuel, so using waste to produce by oil and water. So we are also investing a lot on this. So we will look at all our different sectors and transform them to be, more close to carbon neutral, but of course keeping our capacity to make cash flow, which is also very important.
For many years, you were really the voice of Italian business to the world, and you made them speak with one voice. What do Italian businesses and Italian chief executives today need from their own government, but also from the European Union?
Well, from the European Union, I'm positive with this new Commission. I see some good points, the Green New Deal. Then we will have to understand better what is it, but the idea is good. The idea also to have a revision on the antitrust policy in Europe is something good, because we have to compete with big giants all over the world. The idea to stay as a good, strong voice for multilateralism and also for free trade. So I like this, and I would like them to go on with this, and also having a strong industrial policy where you say we want to have our industrial manufacture very strong and competitive. From Italy, of course, our GDP growth is not great. We are talking about 0.2, next year 0.6. Of course, we are big exporters, so of course the trade is not going very well now because of the tariffs. We are also very integrated with Germany, and as you know, Germany GDP growth will be 0.5. But what we ask from to our government is to go back to investments. Public and private investment are very down. We need to go back to have a lot of investment. We need again to have a better and more efficient public administration, and we want really to focus also on education and research and development, which is key. So this is what I would like to ask to our government.